If you're like most of the world right now, you're probably trapped in your house, just like I've been for the last 2 weeks. And that can get pretty boring, but something I've found pretty fun is Five Nights at Freddy's AR Special Delivery. I've been playing this game for the last few weeks, and I've pretty much unlocked everything in the game. Of course, I couldn't do it alone, so that's why I'm here joined with someone to help you guys understand how to get everything in this game.
Hey guys, it's me, FreddyPopCollectir, and today me and Froki are going to explain how to get everything in FNaF AR. Thanks so much for having me today, Froki, and with all that out of the way, let's get into how to unlock everything in FNaF AR.
That's right, so me and FreddyPopCollectir are here. We have made a guide to show you guys how to get every single plush suit, CPU, endoskeleton slot, and mod in this game, and the easiest ways to do each of those things. Let me first say a little disclaimer here, this is not a tutorial on how to play the game. Although part of this video may be me explaining how to catch certain animatronics, how to deal with animatronics, and things like that, this is not a complete rundown of the entire game, this is not a review, so I'm not going to be talking about the intro sequence, I'm not going to be talking about getting your first endoskeleton, I'm just solely going to be talking about how to unlock things. So the first and foremost thing you're going to want to unlock is endoskeleton spots. These are probably the most simple thing to explain because they are probably the easiest thing to get. So there's two different ways to get more endoskeleton slots. The first way is to buy them. Each time you buy an endoskeleton slot, the price will go up. And I think the highest priced one is 3,000 fast coins, aka about $30. In my opinion, $30 for an endoskeleton slot is way too much money. Please do not pay that. I obviously paid it, but that was for the video, okay? I wouldn't do this otherwise. It's really overpriced for something that's so minimal, so I don't recommend you guys doing it. Illumix, if you're watching this, I highly recommend lowering the price of that because it's a little bit absurd. Another way to unlock endoskeleton spots is by getting a high streak. So every time you beat an animatronic, your streak goes up by 1. So the highest streak you can get to get an endoskeleton spot is 13, and that's the highest one. By the time you've got a streak of 13, you've already unlocked every endoskeleton spot you can solely through streaks. You can have a total of 9 endoskeleton slots in the game currently. Now let's talk about plush suits, which in my opinion are the most exciting thing in this game. Plush suits are solely cosmetic. If you put them on an endoskeleton, it makes it look like that certain character. For example, if you put a Toy Freddy plush suit on an endoskeleton, it'll look like Toy Freddy. Big surprise. Now let's talk about ways to get plush suits. First of all, the easiest way to get a plush suit is by buying it. Now these can be pretty expensive. I wouldn't recommend buying the easier ones like Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Baby, and Balloon Boy. Those are pretty easy to get, but Springtrap is very hard, and I did buy my Springtrap. I did not want to have to go through the process of getting him, and you'll see why later. Again though, these are quite expensive. If you look at the Toy Chica and the Springtrap is around $25, and Toy Chica is around $42, which is crazy. Now let's talk about the next way you can get plush suits, which is probably the main way you're supposed to do it. And this is by beating animatronics. So every time you fight an animatronic and you beat it, if you don't already have its plush suit, you have a chance of getting the plush suit after you defeat it. Now, it's not guaranteed, and certain animatronics have a much lower chance of dropping the plush suit, and some animatronics are much harder to beat, meaning it's harder to get the plush suit like that. But there is a solution. For animatronics that are really hard to beat, such as Springtrap and Toy Chica, you don't have to fight them to get it. You can have a friend send an animatronic with the Toy Chica or Springtrap plush suit, and then a CPU attached to it, such as something like Chica or Freddy, something very easy to defeat. They can send it to you, and you will have an equal chance of getting the plush suit there as you would from an actual Toy Chica or Springtrap. That's right, so if your friend sends you an animatronic, no matter what CPU is attached, as long as it's not an endoskeleton CPU, you do have a chance of getting the plush suit after you defeat it. So that's the way I got most of my plush suits. I had a friend, in fact, FreddyPopCollectir himself, he was sending me Freddy Frostbear, except it only had a normal Freddy CPU attached. And every time I beat it, I had a chance of getting the CPU. And sure enough, after around 20 tries, I did get it. Now let's do a quick rundown of how you beat a basic animatronic. Basic animatronics include the FNaF 1 gang, BB, Baby, and Shamrock Freddy, and more to come possibly in the future. But for now, that group of animatronics all have the same mechanics, just different levels of difficulty. The other animatronics that I didn't mention, such as the toy animatronics, have different mechanics, and I may explain those in a different video, but for this video, I'm solely explaining how you beat the basic animatronics. Now, for the actual mechanics of the main animatronics, I like to see it as 3 stages. The first stage is the charge. The charge is pretty simple. There's 2 different forms of it. There's the fake charge and the real charge. The fake charge is when they run at you, but they're still invisible and you can only see their eyes. So if you just do nothing while they're doing that, you will not die, you will be fine. But if they charge at you and then they become visible, you have to shock them. If you do not shock them when they're charging at you while they're visible, you will die, and that's the end of the encounter. What I like to call the second stage is the static stage. This doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's easy to deal with. So this is basically when static appears on your screen, kind of blocking your view. It makes it hard to see the actual static, so you just need to shake your screen and it'll go away easily. Other characters have different forms of this, like Freddy Frostbear. Frost will appear on the screen and you just have to shake the screen to get rid of it. Now for quite possibly the hardest stage, which is the haywire. The haywire is when the animatronic appears randomly in front of you and is glitching out. You can obviously tell when they're glitching out because their eyes are glowing, there's stuff moving all over your screen, and it's very loud and glitchy. So the way you deal with this is looking away. You have to look away as fast as possible and wait for them to stop. Otherwise, you will die. If you look at them for too long while they're like this, you will die. Characters like Baby and other hard ones have a much higher chance of killing you. The longer you look, you have a split second to look away, otherwise it's done. So yeah, those are the main phases of the main animatronics. There's a few other things to note, such as the static. When looking for an animatronic in your room, the static can be much lower for certain characters like Bonnie and Foxy, whereas other characters have a much more visible static, and you might not even need to use your flashlight to see it. Another thing I briefly touched on that's important is reaction time. Some characters like Baby have a much lower reaction time than other characters like, say, Freddy and Chica do. So when they're haywiring, you have to look away much faster, so be prepared to look away. Another thing I forgot to mention, if you shock an animatronic while they're haywiring, you will die. Now let's talk about the suit drops themselves. So after you beat an animatronic, like I said, you have a chance to get the following items from a drop: parts, mods, mod slots, CPUs, and plush suits. So plush suits and CPUs are the rarest things. You won't usually get them on the first try. CPUs are much rarer than plush suits, but the plush suits are still pretty hard to get. So here is a list of what I think are the easiest to hardest suits to get. So the FNaF 1 gang, BB, and Toy Freddy all seem to be pretty easy. I would say Toy Freddy is much easier than all of them. For some reason, his drop seems to be about 50-50 chance. I got him on the second try. FreddyPopCollectir got his on the first try, and some of my other friends got him on the first try too. So if you have a friend that has Toy Freddy, have him send him over with just, a Bonnie CPU or something easy, and you can probably get the suit on your first or second try. Now for the second hardest ones, I would say Baby, Shamrock Freddy, Toy Bonnie, and Mangle are all around in the same category. They're all hard to get, but they're not super hard to get. You just have to beat them around 9 or 10 times, maybe even less, maybe a little more. It's all random chance, but they are not super hard to get. Those ones didn't take me very long at all. Now for the super hard ones. Springtrap, Freddy Frostbear, and Toy Chica are extremely rare. Springtrap CPU is the rarest item in the game. FreddyPopCollectir will touch on that in a bit, but it is the rarest item. Springtrap's plush suit is also very rare as well. Frostbear's suit is very rare, and Toy Chica's is rare as well, but I would say it's not as rare as the other two. Just want to put a reminder, if a friend sends you an animatronic that has a rare plush suit on it, but an easy CPU, if you beat it, you have the same amount of chance of getting the plush suit as you would from beating an actual animatronic with its actual CPU. Now let's talk about ways to speed up the process of getting a hold of a plush suit. So first of all, batteries. Batteries are very important. I would recommend watching ads. You can watch about 10 ads until your ads disappear in the game. You get 10 Faz coins per ads, and if you watch 10 of them, you get 100 coins. And then you can buy 3 battery packs, which I think is a good deal. Now, if you don't want to sit and watch ads forever, you can also open the daily gift that you get from the events every 4 hours. there's a chance of those giving you fast coins as well. And then the last way is obviously to spend actual money. I did spend a little bit of money on this game to get batteries, but you don't have to do that. It's not necessary. Now let's talk about streaks. So the higher streak you have, the more chance you have of getting a plush suit from a drop. It's just simple. The higher and better you get at the game, the more lucky you get with the drops you get. So if someone is sending you, say, a Freddy Frostbear, I would recommend fighting every animatronic in your area before it shows up, so you can get at least a streak of 5 or 6, maybe 7 or 8. 10 would be ideal, but that's when Springtrap and Toy Chica start showing up, so you probably don't want that. Another thing that can make the process easier is remnant milestones. Remnant milestones are something you get when you get a certain amount of remnant in the game. Every time you reach one of these milestones, you get some sort of helpful, I would say a buff when you're fighting animatronics. For example, some of the milestones make it so that when an animatronic charges you and becomes visible, they become visible for more time, meaning you have more time to react. But yeah, guys, that's basically everything you need to know about plush suits. I'll pass it off to FreddyPopCollectir now to explain a little bit more about CPUs. But for the most part, you obtain them in the same ways, it's just that they're much rarer.
For those of you who don't know, CPUs are little chips you sometimes get when defeating an animatronic. These chips can be put onto any character to make them act and behave exactly as they do in-game. For example, you can have a Toy Bonnie with a Foxy CPU, and Toy Bonnie will behave exactly like Foxy does in-game. CPUs are much rarer than plush suits, usually only unlocked after you've gotten the suit, and it takes multiple tries usually to get them. It's not impossible to get the CPU before the plush suit, but it's really unlikely. CPUs also cannot be bought in the store, meaning the only way you can get them is by grinding and pure skill. The rarest item in the game is the Springtrap CPU, mostly because its drop rate is so low, and Springtrap is one of, if not the hardest character in the game. The exclusive character CPUs like Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, and Mangle, their CPUs are a lot more common than Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy's, just because the exclusive characters aren't in the game as long, and so their drop rate is slightly higher. In FNaF AR, CPUs and mods are very, very different. Even though they're obtained the same way by defeating animatronics, mods are very different. There are 4 different types of mods, being 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, and 4-star mods. Of course, 4-star are the rarest and hardest to get. You can't buy mods like CPUs, but you can sell them for parts, and of course, the 4-star mods are going to sell more than the 1, 2, 3 stars. Mods can do a variety of different things in FNaF AR. They can increase your animatronic static field, its charging speed, and its haywire time. You can unlock up to 4 different mod slots on an endoskeleton, meaning you can have 4 mods on one endoskeleton, and you can have them in any order you want, any variety. Mods are mostly useful if you're sending out animatronics to friends and you want to get better rewards like better remnant and better parts.
Hey guys, I know this is a really lazy ending, but I want to say thank you for watching the video. This has taken me all day to make and edit, and I know it's a little bit choppy in some parts, but I did my best to make it a good video. I know I didn't touch on everything, like I didn't really explain things like Remnant, I didn't really explain the other devices you can get in the game, but I really just wanted to touch home on everything that I think is cool in the game and everything that's fun to unlock and things that you really want. So yeah, let me know if you want any more videos on FNaF AR. I'm probably going to make a video every time a new character comes out now of me trying to catch it, and then I'll explain how you do it in detail. Other than that, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for FreddyPopCollectir for joining the video. Go subscribe to him, go spam his comment sections and stuff, all that. Yeah, really dumb ending here. I'm filming my table, but thanks for watching, guys.